The night settles over North London, but inside the Emirates, the air is anything but calm. It crackles with tension, with expectations, and with the weight of what to come. This is not just football, this is destiny unfolding. Welcome to match day 37 of Premier League. I am Adeyemi Shegun, and tonight it's Arsenal against Newcastle. Both meet on a battlefield where dreams are made or shattered. Liverpool may already have won the crown, but beneath them, the table is ablaze. Just 3 points separating Arsenal in second from the Park Crown behind, including tonight's visitors Newcastle, who sit stout and hungry for more in the EPL. But both sides steps onto the stage without their leading warriors. Arsenal are without a recognized striker, a void that turns eyes and hopes towards the ever-reliable Bukayo Saka, the heartbeat of the Gunners. Newcastle too arrive without their top marksman, talking about Alexander Isak, and now the burden and the belief rests on the shoulders of Callum Wilson. This is not just a clash for points, it's a battle for position, pride, and the promise of European nights to come. One match day remains after this, but tonight may write the history and story final twist. The moment is here. The Premier League hosts breast, and we are ready here in our studios of Premier Sports Fan Center. My name is Adeyemi Shegun, like I said, and I'll be your host for this evening's watch along on Premier Sports Fan Center. But I'm not alone doing this in the studio. I'm also doing it with Yemites. Yemites, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon,
Oh, it's
Shegun.
good evening already.
Yeah, good evening. It's a good day to be back for the watch along again after that long Friday show, and this promises to be an exciting one. The running up for grabs, so let's see who will take it all at the end of the day.
Yeah, talking about the running, yes, this is an interesting tie. One of the biggest matches in match day 37. Arsenal currently sits second, and we're talking about Newcastle, who are just, beneath them in third position. A win here at Emirates Stadium, where it used to be Arsenal Fortress Ground. A win for Newcastle, who has also defeated the Gunners 3 times this season. We see Newcastle moving to the second position. Looking at the running, 1 game left. We earlier on saw Nottingham Forest defeating West Ham 2-1, and it looks like, yes, the remaining 4 spot for the UEFA Champions League is very much open in the EPL.
Yes, from second to 6th.
To 7th.
To 7th. No, I'm talking about Champions League football. Second to 6th. No, to 7th. Yeah, they are still in the running for the Champions League, which is only second to 5th. So 2 clubs will be ousted. We saw Nottingham Forest just defeated West Ham 2-1. But overall, let's see if this time that may the best team win. We can see that Chelsea is in the running, Newcastle, Nottingham Forest. But for me, I think the 2 blink teams that look like teams that might not really get there. Number 1 has to be Nottingham Forest. So let's see who we had.
Well, the last game, talking about Nottingham Forest, that last game in March 38 will be against Chelsea, and they'll be at home against the Blues in that encounter.
The City Ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, City Ground against the Blues. It can go either way. When it's the Premier League, it can just switch. But these boys, they are beginning to look like more like the fighting spirit is beginning to show. We said in the game against Manchester United, it looked like there was nothing, and something pop up out of nothing. So let's just see how far they can go.
Okay, another game now might be a deciding factor on match day 38. Has to be that one between Manchester United and Aston Villa. Cripply, Aston Villa are coming up the ranks, and they are waiting to see, just like a fox, to see who is going to fuck up among the teams up there.
Yeah, when you look at that game, Manchester United practically has nothing to play for. But there's everything to play for Aston Villa. Especially with the fact that you get 7th now, you are going to Europa League, to Conference League.
They're still in it for the UEFA Champions League, so.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, if they lose,
they find themselves in one of the European competitions.
Yeah, but they might drop down to Conference League, depending on what happens in the game between Chelsea and Nottingham Forest. So the mathematics is still very much expanded, and Newcastle has a big chance. Oh, big save from. Oh my God!
Denied Newcastle a chance at goal, but still Newcastle coming all out against the Gunners in the early stages of this encounter. Arsenal will defend their line again against Newcastle. What a way to start this encounter, and it's rubbling out the back. The Gunners finally have a chance to push this out of their own goal post, but straight into the hands of Nick Pope, the Newcastle goalkeeper, who sends it back into Arsenal half. And what for 6 minutes we've seen in this account from Arsenal going very close on the other side of Newcastle goal post, and Newcastle coming very close to opening the goal scoring in this one. How big of a miss do you think Alexander Isak will be to Newcastle
A
tonight?
real big miss, real big miss. He has been a top contributor to everything they have going forward, and we just can't wait to know the reason why he is not in the starting 11 today. But hopefully, for the sake of Newcastle faithful, they don't want to see him out injured, especially to the last game of the season. And I think their last game is it Crystal Palace or which
Newcastle?
yeah,
I'll
Newcastle.
be getting that later on.
Yeah, so I think that it will be a big miss, a really big miss for Newcastle if he doesn't make it back in time for the last game.
Okay, we'll be waiting to see what happens in match day 38. There's a lot of dramas to come in that encounter. And don't forget, you can also join us for the last game of Go Rush in the EPL. We'll be here in the studios of Premier Sports Fan Center. Comes next week Sunday for the last games of the EPL. Only one is guaranteed the UEFA Champions League spot as it stands right now. And it's the champions, Liverpool. Beautiful save there from David Raya. Double save, because that would have gone into the back of the net for Newcastle's first goal. Good order play there from the striker, Callum Wilson, to drop that for his teammate, but couldn't get the needed touch on that. And a fantastic two saves there from the Spanish Arsenal goalkeeper, David Raya. Raya back on the ball for the Gunners there as they look to attack against this Newcastle side in this encounter. Looking at the other games in the EPL, as it ended, Aston Villa against Tottenham Hotspur ended 2-0 in that game. That game was played on Friday. Chelsea also defeated Manchester United rather, at the Stamford Bridge 1-0. Everton defeated the last position team Southampton 2-0. West Ham lost at home to Nottingham Forest 2-1. Brentford surprisingly lost 2-3 to Fulham, even after losing they're currently losing 3-2 to Fulham, even after losing a penalty in the early stages of the second half. Leicester, who are also hosting another relegated team, Ipswich, are currently defeating Ipswich 2-0 in that encounter, while Arsenal and Newcastle, which is our focal match, is currently in the 9th minute. It's still 0-0 between the Gunners and Newcastle in this one. Brighton and Liverpool still to come, Crystal Palace and the Wolverhampton still to come. We also have Manchester City, who surprisingly lost yesterday to Crystal Palace. They have a game at hand, which will be against the Bournemouth. With that game will be played on the 20th of May.
Yeah.
Okay, we are back to the Gunners game. Arsenal gradually coming into this one. It's a full packed stadium right there at the Emirates Stadium with the Gunners fans, everybody right there on the stadium. At the stadium, to give their own support to their team. We saw them in the UEFA Champions League. At the start of it, they looked like, yes, all hopes were going to happen for them. But fortunately, if only hopes could move a mountain, that was what happened against PSG. I think they faced off against a better opponent in that encounter.
Yeah, they faced up against a better opponent. An opponent that has a lot of arsenal in their own setup. They have strength in depth to prosecute that one. We saw the bench of Arsenal, not really much could come up from that bench. And so that becomes the question of recruitment. They need to recruit. You want to compete with the best of the best. You have to beat the best to become the best. So, and for this season, luckily for PSG, they are one of the best. And that explains why they are in the final of the UEFA Champions.
You can hear that explains why PSG against face off against Inter Milan in the final of the UEFA Champions League. Going straight to the Gunners starting 11 tonight is David Raya, the goalkeeper. Ben White surprisingly comes in as a right back for the Gunners. Saliba and Kiwo continues to pair together in the centre back without Gabriel Maguinez, who is out injured. Lewis Kelly has made the left back position his own as he's coming into the Arsenal's fold. In the middle of the park is the captain Martin Odegaard, Thomas Partey, and Declan Rice, Arsenal's favourite midfield trio. While up front is Bukayo Saka, Martinelli, and Leandro Trossard playing for the Gunners in this encounter. Newcastle will go forward here with this very chance for the first goal straight into the hands of David Raya. I think he should be doing, but Livramento should be doing better there. Is that Livramento or Averbins? I think that was Livramento.
That's Livramento.
That's Livramento with that chance there. Yeah, we can always reduce the blame on him because he's more of a right back than
A
an
left
attacking
back,
footballer.
yeah.
A left back, sorry, more than more. He's more of a left back,
Right back,
right back,
but playing
playing as
left
left back.
back
Yes, there's
today.
no Lewis all for them. Lewis all is out injured, so
Yeah.
it's more about Livramento
But
playing
I
as
think
a
them
left back.
Bones should have done a better
Maybe
job
they're
as a
looking
left
at
back.
maybe Bonds is on the pitch. Livramento is playing off Bonds on the left. It's more about them playing 3-4-3 formation in this encounter.
Oh, so that's a shot blocked again from the Italian Tonali, but Martinelli will run with the ball right now. We set it straight to Odegaard. Odegaard will switch play down the right. The Norwegian international, who was out for a few weeks, has not really gotten back to his best since he came back from that lengthy spell right there. They're trying to Arsenal 12 minutes of their counter at the Emirates Stadium. It is. Will lightning strike anytime from now? We have to wait, or maybe take it with Google glasses.
Okay, let's go straight into the Newcastle starting 11 is Nick Pope, the goalkeeper, and the back three of Shaw, Boltzmann, and Bond. In the middle of the park, we have Murphy, Gilmires, the captain, Tonali, and Livramento. Up front is Gordon Baines, and up front is a Loma striker, Callum Wilson. So let's see how this team goes for Newcastle in this encounter. But gradually, the Gunners are coming into this one and taking the ball straight into the part of Newcastle. We're 12 minutes gone in this encounter. Still no goal to report between these two sides. Yes, Arsenal with the ball there. Leandro Trossard beats his man there, sends it back into the middle of the park. Yes, Arsenal looking to attack against Newcastle. Straight into the part of the Ghanaian midfielder there. Thomas Partey comes forward with the ball for the Gunners. What will he make out of this? Still holds onto it and looks inward into the middle. Drops a pass through the bodies of the Newcastle players and back into this part there. Arsenal looking to attack and creates an opening in this Newcastle side. And he's straight onto the wing there. Leandro Trossard with the ball, looks to cut it and takes a long run. Ooh, beautiful walk there. And he'll be coming into all there with that patience.
Oh!
Sorry, Gunners. But went begging there. What a shot there from Leandro Trossard. What a piece of skill there from the Belgian international there to get his man off his mark there. You see that was beautifully done there. A beautiful crafted shot there from the Belgian. But went wide of the goal.
I think he took a deflection.
Yeah. Let's see if that took a wicked deflection. But as it stands there from my screen, yes, it looks like it's a corner kick to the Gunners. Yes, confirmed it's a corner kick to the Gunners, and Bukayo Saka will be taking this. The England international will be looking to send an assist in for his fellow Arsenal team. And let's see if they'll be getting the first goal of this ball. Bukayo Saka standing on the corner kick for the Gunners.
Yeah, Bukayo Saka on this one. Can he deliver this one with the corner kick? FC getting another corner. Oh my God! That was good save, a good save by Nick Pope right there. Continuing from the wonders he did last week against Chelsea Football Club. He really kept Newcastle in that one. Really with those two big saves in that. Now he has another big save in this one. A corner kick, it is again for the corner kick FC. It looks like Arsenal taking the corner kicks.
Scoring from corner kicks has not really worked for them a lot. Since the injury of Gabriel Magalhaes, that was one of the players they look up to. Whenever I see Gabriel in the box and Arsenal is having a corner kick, I'm always scared because I know he
knows how to convert.
When it comes to area, he's a big threat against opponents. Yes, Arsenal, they are back into their part of the captain there.
Yeah,
that is so unlikely from the captain. Talks about his form.
Maybe by 2030, the goalpost will be shifted to that height so that Odegaard can get a goal. But to be candid, we have to give a lot of credit to the Newcastle manager also, Eddie Howe. There was a time where they had, I think, almost 10 injured players, and they found a way to manage the squad, and they were still grinding out results week in, week out this season. There was a time we thought they would not have a shout of European football, but right now they are in the mix. Even a step closer to finishing the league second on the table. What a season the man has been.
Victory will send them straight to the second position. Let's see if they can get a victory over the Gunners right there at the Emirates Stadium. Straight into the box there, almost being fumbled. But that's always easily saved up. The referee says that we're going to be a corner kick or a throw.
I think that will be a throw-in.
Okay, it looks like, yes, it's going to be a throw-in. Livramento on the ball there, drops it straight into the part of Bond, his teammate there, who sends it straight into the middle of the park. Still Newcastle trying to create or enjoy their own fair share of possession in the early stages of this encounter. We've got to the first quarter of 1 hour of football right there at the Emirates Stadium. Straight into the 16th minute, it's still 0-0 between these two sides. Newcastle coming forward again to attack. It might just be a chance for them to get a shot at target there and go straight there. But David Raya being called to action again, and this time around he also has every answers to that. We took a deflection there, almost sent the goalkeeper in the wrong way, but he got a big hand on that and saved his team the blushes of conceding a goal in the early stages of this game.
Yeah, he had to come up and do the needful because he took a deflection and the ball, he had to go a full stretch extra to save that one. And corner kick to Newcastle. And they are beginning to go into this one, getting those chances in and out per time. And maybe they will finish off this one.
Yes, the corner kick to Newcastle right there. What would they make out of this? Takes a shot, one sends it back into the power of teammate, a cross into the box. There with that beat, Arsenal pressure. But they are taking on the pressure. They are inviting a lot of pressure onto their defense in this encounter in the early stages, and that was Moreno. If I'm not, no, that was Keyword, if I'm not mistaken. There, we took a header onto that, and it looks like it's going to be another corner kick to Newcastle right there in the 17th minute of this encounter. We started seeing a lot of attacking instincts from both sides in this encounter, but Newcastle looks like the one who are threatening the most in this encounter. Tonali, the Italian magician right there, will be taking this corner kick for Newcastle. What would they make out of this? They have the tall guys on the box there. Bond is always a threat whenever he's in the box there, and that is another one taken. And David Raya with another two big saves in quick succession there. What is happening to the Gunners in the early stages of this encounter? Newcastle taking the pressure to them. The referee says that was a fair challenge and allows plays to continue. Newcastle will take the fair play and takes that into the box of the Gunners with that big chance there. It looks like, yes, the pressure keeps on coming. But David Raya always responding to it for the Gunners. What a header there from from Dan Bond, sorry. And another quick succession. Look at that cross. Look at that header. Towering header there from the Newcastle defender. And David Raya was just fortunate to have the hand on that and had to take the second save while trying to get up in the box there. Arsenal being called into action again by Newcastle, and another double save from the goalkeeper David Raya in this encounter. Just 18 minutes into this game, and Newcastle have seen about 4 chances to go ahead against the Gunners, but David Raya has come to the rescue.
I think Newcastle knows that if they win this game, their Champions League slot is confirmed.
Yeah, confirmed.
Yeah, so they want to do everything. Maybe not fully confirmed yet based on goal difference if they lose their last game, but at least they will have a big one step into the UEFA Champions League. So that explains why they've come out the Emirates Stadium, taking the game to Arsenal. And Arsenal wouldn't have expected Newcastle coming at them this way. Firing right, left, and center, and that's the hallmark of having a good, solid goalkeeper. If not for goalkeeping, they will be most likely 2 or 3 goals down right now.
Okay, match day 38 is going to be a lot of dramas in the EPL. Looking at the matchup, Fulham host Manchester City, another team who are challenging or who are struggling this season to get a spot in the UEFA Champions League. And also Forest hosting Chelsea, Southampton will be hosting Arsenal, and we also have Newcastle who will be at home against Everton, Manchester United at home against Aston Villa, it's Ipswich against West Ham, Bournemouth against Leicester City, and Tottenham Hotspur against Brighton on the last day of the EPL. That game promises to be interesting at 4 p.m. on the 25th, of May. We'll be here in the studio to give you analysis.
Yeah, that's next week Sunday.
Yes,
right
that's next week Sunday, so keep a date with us on next week Sunday. But before that, we have the big one in the Europa League. Yes, the battle, I don't want to call them clowns, but the battle of the 16th and 17th. Manchester United against them, Tottenham
Two
Hotspur.
disappointing
That game is going to be
season.
on the 24th. I don't really know what they would play that day, because looking at how much it's easy for them to lose scoring chances in the game of football.
Really, especially you have to look at the way they play, the way they set up. You have to just shake your head and say it's really, really disappointing at the end of the day. But be that as it may, they are in the Europa League final. You can't undermine what they've done in the Europa League so far this season. Yeah, sometimes you have some seasons whereby some clubs will perform very well in cup competitions and be nothing to write home about in the league. And even the season Chelsea won their first Champions League, they were not the best in the league. So it happens like that sometimes. I just want to see football on display. Now we've heard them say, "Oh, we rest players and all." Then by this time, on Thursday, would have known who will be staying in England and who will be going to the Champions League next season.
Okay, as I will be saying that next week we'll be having confirmation of the full teams that will be that will be representing England in the UEFA Champions League 2025-2026 season. But one thing is certain, one of Manchester United, the Tottenham Hotspur, even finishing 16th or 17th, one of them will find himself, in the UEFA Champions League through the back doors. And here's another corner kick down to Newcastle. We've seen a lot of corner kicks in the early stages of this encounter, and shows how much Arsenal are piling or enduring the pressures from Newcastle. Yeah, it's Newcastle's fourth corner kick, and this time around is not going to threaten the goalkeeper David Raya. Dan Bond looks to be the threatening man, to be the biggest threat when Newcastle swings in a corner kick. He has a head on that, and talking about that towering man, he's a tall man, and that is why you can see Newcastle sending all the corner kicks through their left back in this encounter. Let's see how it goes in that game. At the stages, we are straight in the 22nd minute of this game, and still no goal to report between Arsenal and Newcastle. But in the under-20 AFCON, Nigeria is currently one goal down against the host nation Egypt in the third place match up in the under-20 AFCON. That game is at halftime already. Nigeria conceded a goal in the third minute against Egypt. So as it stands right now, it's Egypt 1, Nigeria 0 in that encounter. And Nigeria without their goalkeeper, the 15 years old Akot.
Yeah, Akot. The player of this Lagos club.
Sporting Lagos.
Sporting Lagos.
Academy, not
Academy. Yeah, the academy. Yeah. So let's just see. He has been massive. He was massive for them against
I think they actually
Senegal.
missed him in that semi-final.
Yeah, they did.
When I saw the goal and they considered against South Africa, I was asking myself, yes, now you understand why this second choice goalkeeper has been on the bench. There was no need for him to rush out for that, South African attempt there. And unfortunately today he has also considered a goal against Egypt. But let's see how the Nigerian guys will respond in that encounter, because the response is very much needed.
But I think, the World Cup. So
So,
that's the most important. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm not a fan of win-win underage competition. Just grow talent. We can see the absence of players that understand what it means to wear the Super Eagles jersey. You can see how Osimhen was behaving on the field after Nigeria considered that 10 minutes equalized against Zimbabwe. Other guys were just practically walking because they don't really understand what it meant to Nigerians. But when you build up players from here, they grew up seeing how the fans will behave, will react when they lose games like that, and then the orientation will be there to give their all whenever they're in a strong position, like they consider they go from against Zimbabwe.
I'll get back to the Gunners game. Yeah, he's Ben White on the ball there, returns back to the captain Martin Odegaard, who switches on position and finds his Arsenal teammate, and straight Arsenal will look to attack against Newcastle. When Newcastle wins possession, looks to take Arsenal on the long run there. And he has a chance for Newcastle there. Murphy on the ball there, easily lost possession and straight into the hands of Leandro Trossard. Arsenal will look to build out from the back here. And here is that big man at the back talking about William Saliba. Yes, who has a lot of questions. Probably he's not going to sign a new deal with Arsenal, or will he be signing, or just chose to join Real Madrid? We've seen a lot of free transfers going to Real Madrid. One of the big names has to be Arnold joining on the free, and look, the Liverpool fans are really, really annoyed at seeing him leaving for free.
Yeah, they are annoyed, but what can they do? He was instrumental in them winning the league this season. So
there's a chance. Will that bring first goal for the Gunners? The Arsenal fans asking for a penalty there, but the referee said that was a fair challenge on Ben White, who went ground to the turf so early. But let's see that from replay again. I was there in the touch there. Let's see it again. Oh, I doubt that's not.
I don't think there's any touch.
There's no need for him going down there. It reminds me of that Chelsea one against Manchester United. I don't know. Probably when these boys are, when the players are always in the box, they are always expecting a challenge. Yeah. Yes, but the first thing that should be on your mind is you hitting the target, not you expecting a challenge. And the fighters have understood that these days. And, they just put the leg and return it, knowing fully well that yes, the player is going to
go dive. And that's another way of sending players off these days. We see, diving now is a yellow card offense. So when you dive unnecessarily, you get the cards, and you are one card away from a red card. God save you if it's not also the second yellow card in that one. But I think that the attackers should do better and let us see football rather than the tricks of the game. We know that now all these tricks, VR will correct many of it. So what's the essence? What's the essence? Chelsea was just lucky that Tyron George wasn't given a
Yeah.
yellow card.
Okay, straight into that encounter. We're straight into the 26th minute of this encounter. And Newcastle coming out to attack against the Gunners once again, but took a weak in deflection there. And it's going to be a throwing to Arsenal. Murphy doing all the damages from the right wing for the Gunners, for the Newcastle side in this encounter. And it looks to come out again in this game. The Magpies sends it back into the out of defense where he finds the Boatman. Boatman looks forward and finds Bond with the ball there. Bond sends it forward and plays in Anthony Gordon, who returns it back to Bond. Bond, the England international, just to go back to the ends of his teammates. Botman there. Botman comes forward with the ball, finds Bond, and Bond with a big one into the middle of the park, and it looks like he was without a recognized striker. Though Callum Wilson is a striker, but you can look at, you can know his match rustiness up front. The difference, the way he penetrates is way different from the way Alexander Ishak, good hold of play, and the way he gets into positions. Probably that is what we've actually missed from this Newcastle in the early stages of this game.
You have to talk about match fitness, playing time. When you play consistently, you grow into the game, you grow into matches, and that's one thing that Callum Wilson will struggle with. But he's an experienced player, so he can find a way around it. Maybe a little simple touch into the net will boost his confidence and his morale for the game in general.
Okay, waiting to see that, and yeah, he's Anthony Gordon chasing that and finds himself in the box there. The cross into the box, but there was no Newcastle player to get the finishing touch on that. And the referee allows players to continue. And looking at Newcastle's top scorer this season, it's Alexander Ishak with 23 goals, and behind him is Alva Baines with 9 goals, and Jacob Murphy with 8 goals. And top assist for Newcastle this season is Murphy, who is topping that with 12 assists. Alexander Ishak comes second with 6, and Bruno Grumuresh and Moora both with 6 assists for Newcastle in the EPL. Let's see how this goes. Will they be able to get a goal over the Gunners? There's come very close to getting goals, but coming close doesn't do it. You have to put the ball into the back of the net. And yes, Boatman with that defensive header for Newcastle. Newcastle looks to attack again, but good, beautiful defensive work there done by Thomas Partey for the Gunners. Arsenal was onto the ball in the middle of the park, looks to attack right now, and here's Declan Rice attacking with the ball for the Gunners. Scott Ewald, yes, there always a treacherous shot and goes powerful there, but straight into the hands of the England first choice goalkeeper Nick Pope, who happens to be his teammate. And not talking about Declan Rice, though he was nominated for one of the players of the season, but there have been questions around him this season that he hasn't produced the kind of performance we saw him produce for the Gunners last season.
Yeah, he hasn't, and you have to talk about the fact that it is all round. It is all round. Arteta has dropped in standard of coaching for us now. Saka has dropped in standard. Even Odegaard, in fact, that one is really obvious. Even Saliba dropped. It was Gabriel that took his own game to the next level. And if not for the injury, I think Gabriel will be the player of the season for Arsenal this season. So I think almost every member of the team dropped, apart from David Raya and Gabriel. So I think they have to look themselves in the mirror, not point accusing fingers, but at least try to work on their limitations, and maybe next season they will get a trophy.
Okay, but talking about the manager, Mikel Arteta, yesterday I saw in one of his interviews with was ESPN or Sky Sports, where he was complaining that they were asking him that what was the reason why they didn't win, why they couldn't win the league, and he was blaming it on a lot of red cards,
and injuries,
injuries for the Gunners. I was like, red cards are part of the game.
Yeah,
Arsenal are not the only one who got red cards this season, so I don't really see how it correlates with him, using a red card as a yardstick for why the Gunners couldn't win the league.
Every coach will always want to look for an excuse before you start the season. 2 seasons ago, there was an injury to, I think, Saliba. Last season, they got an injury to one key player too, and you keep finding excuses to fail. Then you will keep failing. So it is the fact that Arteta has failed to do the needful. Get the players you need and get a solid backup. But you were looking for backup on the final day and went to bring in Sterling that Chelsea wanted to ship out. No, you cannot want to win, also want to claim to be too smart at the same time. You will be sitting on a knife edge, which can be
And
very,
Carlos
very
is out
dangerous.
here in the market. You know, there've been revelations that yes, he can live for 65 million pound euros. That was the agreement he had with what's it called,
Sporting
Sporting
Lisbon.
Lisbon. So it's left to see who is going to be
But
triggering
I think
that release clause.
Arsenal is already on his heels.
Yeah.
Arsenal really wants him ASAP, and it looks like Arsenal might be his destination. But Man U has not really gone all in for any striker yet. They want to confirm if they will be in the Champions League or not this coming season. So let's see how that one goes at the end of the day. So, but it's still going to be a long summer, and many of these clubs want to do their business quickly, especially those that are going to the Club World Cup. So I
Like
think in
Chelsea,
England it's just
just
Chelsea and Man
Chelsea
City.
and Manchester City. Yeah.
Yeah, Liverpool and Arsenal are not
No,
going.
no, they are not
Yeah,
joining.
so
Okay, as a corner kick to the
sorry
Gunners
for
there,
them.
right
So
there in the
sorry.
32nd minute. The clock is fast ticking in this one. Well, let's see if Arsenal will be having a chance from this corner kick to get the first goal in this encounter. It's a corner kick to the Gunners there. And let's see, it's Bukayo Saka who will be taking this. And the tall guys are also in the box there for the Gunners. We can see the defender there, QL, joining the rank in the box to try and see if he can get a head on this. Can he do it like Gabriel? Saka standing on this. We've not really seen much from Bukayo Saka, but as it stands here, it looks like he's their best attacking output in this encounter. Bukayo Saka starting on this corner kick for the Gunners. It starts the second minute into this game. Takes it into the box there. Was easily saved there. It looks like he has took a deflection. And it's going to be another corner kick out to Arsenal. I think we've seen about 8 corner kicks, if I'm not mistaken, in this first half. Let me see. We've seen, yes, 8 corner kicks already in this first half.
Yeah, the bookies
of
will
this
be
game.
smiling to
Yeah,
the
not
bank.
everybody will be smiling. There are some that might even just pick under 10 corner kicks in the whole game.
If you pick that in this kind of game, it's a subway.
So looking like that already. It's 33rd minute in this game. We are barely 12 minutes away from the end of the first half. But still no goal to report in this match game between Arsenal and Newcastle. Everything looks to be going on slowly. The pace of the game is not really at a fast pace like we would have expected.
9 corner kicks already.
All right. As because Saka will start on the ninth corner kick in the first half. We've seen much corner kicks between these two sides in this encounter. He has a chance for Arsenal to get the first goal. Bukayo Saka needs to get it at the right height right here. Takes a short one. And what would the Gunners make out of this? Back to Bukayo Saka, who finds himself in the box here, straight into the path of his teammate, and the cross into the box there. But the finishing touch eluded that ball there from Thomas Partey, who couldn't get a leg onto it. So it's going to be goal kick Newcastle right there in the 34th minute of this encounter. Looks like Kai Havertz is back on the bench.
Yeah, it looks like he's back on the bench. And let's see if he will still be able to maybe a touch
He's
of
back on
the
the
ball.
bench. He's actually on the bench tonight. So
Yeah.
probably he'll be making his return
Yeah,
in this encounter.
yeah, maybe.
They actually missed him.
They missed him a lot. They may because his hold up play, the way how he absorbed defender to himself to create space for Odegaard and other guys, is one of the things that Arsenal has really missed. And let's just hope that he doesn't get injured again.
Okay, Lewis Skelly on the ball, yeah. Yes, Lewis Skelly on the ball, rather. And he was onto the ball there. The 18 years old England international returns it back in the cross from the Gunners. Inviting cross there. But the touch eluded us. Very beautiful touch across there from QL. But there was no Arsenal player in the box to get onto that ball. And these are the kind of situations where you miss Kai Havertz, in the opponent's box.
Yeah, when he has that positioning, he knows how to get into
Havertz,
space.
we can see him already warming up for the Gunners. Probably will be seeing him in the early stages of the second half. There's nothing to play for the Gunners this season, so I think he can take the
There's
risk.
something to play
They're
for.
playing for the UEFA
Champions
qualification.
League.
So I think it might just risk bringing him earlier on in the second half. Because looking
Yeah.
at the front, you've seen a lot of corner kicks. Like we said, 9 corner kicks played between these two sides in the first half. Arsenal has played 6 corner kicks, 10 corner kicks already. 6 being played by the Gunners in the first half. But also, there was
No avail, yeah.
no avail in this encounter.
Yeah.
When they have a tall man like Kai Havertz, who is also dangerous with the head, I think they might look more threatening in the Newcastle box in this encounter. So let's see
Yeah,
how it goes.
he's one guy that is very good with the area duels, especially when he's in the opponent box. He knows how to convert his headers. We saw him score a lot of headers with Chelsea, and maybe when it comes up for Arsenal, he can do the needful because Arsenal needs somebody to convert the chances for them today because it's one game that if they take out 3 points now, their Champions League spot is confirmed.
Still Arsenal coming forward to attack. Yes, looks to send the cross into the box, but back into the hands of Gabriel. Gabriel cuts forward with the ball. Martinelli with the cross, and we have the 11th corner kick in this first half. What a game of football we are having between the Gunners and Newcastle. Looks like yes, we are seeing more of corner kicks than more of attempts in the second half.
Yeah, we have seen more of corner kicks, and really funny. 11 corner kicks already right now. And for the bookies who goes for corner kick very high, maybe 12.5 or more, and they'll be smiling to the banks with the odds right now. And let's just see if Arsenal will finally convert this one.
All right, that's 7 minutes gone in this one. We have another corner kick to report from the Gunners. This time around is another Arsenal corner kick, and it's not Bukayo Saka who is starting on this. It's Declan Rice, who has been one of their magnificent corner kick takers this season. You can see that was a beautiful one there from Declan Rice. And here's the captain on the ball there, returns it back and finds Skelly. Skelly looks inward and finds his teammate there. Arsenal looks to attack and looks to create spaces in this encounter. Back in play is right there. It looks like that is Martinelli on the ball, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And sends it straight into the path of the captain. Odegaard, who finds Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka looks inward and tries to drop it straight into the path of his teammate, but the Gunners lost possession. Newcastle trying to attack there, and Tonelli was being held back by Ben White, and he's not looking whitish there.
Yeah, it's not looking white because it's not looking like a snow right now. It looks like a much rusty player who has not really gone to his best that we used to know him for. I can't wait for next season, the competition between Timbers and Ben White.
Might just be a chance for the first goal, but too many chances there, too much touch there. I think you should have gone on goal rather than
indecision killed him.
Cost him there. But still Newcastle in possession of the ball. What would they make out of that? Arsenal defending with all their life and got out of that dangerous situation. And here is Thomas Partey on the ball. Referee allows place to continue since that was a fair challenge against the Ghanaian international. And here is Newcastle attacking against the Gunners again, looking to send one into the box. What would they make out of that? Returns it back and finds them Shaw with the ball there. And Fabian Shaw will holds onto the ball, not being rushed or not being pressured there. And he has a chance for Newcastle to find himself in the box, have a base with the ball. What will he make out of that? Drops it back into the path of his teammate, and still Newcastle indecision there.
Yeah, indecision again. And finally the pass is sent it, but it was to a blind spot right there. So Arsenal will attack down the left with this one. Declan Rice with the ball. Not really a pacey player. If it was Martinelli there, he would have attacked the opponent with that ball. But still Arsenal in possession. Odegaard will switch play. Finds Bukayo Saka down the right. The English international who went through hell in that Wembley final against Italy was the one who lost that penalty. The fans came out for him, but he came out stronger at the end of the day.
He has grown since that.
Yeah, really grown.
He was barely 18 or
19 then, yeah.
So we've seen him, grown to be one of the best wingers right now
in the Premier League. Yeah, he's in the World Premier League.
What you can say World of Football? So if he's one of the best in the EPL,
yeah, that's true.
Probably almost on the same level with Lamine Yamal.
Not on the same level. Lamine is like on another level. Either they agree or they don't. The reality is there. Lamine Yamal is top 5 Ballon d'Or ranking right now, or maybe I don't think Saka is in top 10.
Okay, so straight in the 40th minute of this encounter. I'm still not good to report in that game between Arsenal and Newcastle, and you can see the frustration on the face of the Arsenal winger. Talking about Bukayo Saka. They've not really seen chances come by in this encounter. Here's Newcastle with the ball. Fabian Shaw on the ball there, drops it to Botman. And Botman holds onto the ball for Newcastle. What will he make out of that? Looks inward and finds Tonelli. Yes, Newcastle coming looking to attack against this Arsenal side. And moving forward, here is a chance for them to send one into the box there. But David Raya, who has been the savior for the Gunners in this one, gathers that comfortable for Arsenal. It ended 3-2 in that game between Brentford and Fulham. Brentford surprisingly losing that one to Fulham in that encounter, who came away to get the bragging rights in this London derby between Brentford and Fulham. It ended 2-0 between Leicester City and Ipswich in the battle of the relegated teams, with Leicester City taking a 2-0 victory at the King Power Stadium. And we have the last game for tonight in the EPL. It's Arsenal against Newcastle. Still 0-0 at the 41st minute of this encounter. And as it's going, it looks like, yes, we might not be seeing a goal in this first half.
Yeah, it looks like it. It looks like we might not see a goal in this first half. But be that as it may, we can't just say impossibility is nothing. We know that anything is possible in the world of football. And we are into the last 5 minutes of the first half. And maybe, I don't know, additional time, maybe something can happen at the end of the day. But it has been an interesting game so far. A whole lot different from what we saw on Friday. Chelsea, Manchester United was really, really annoying match to watch.
Against 1-1 already in that game between Nigeria and Egypt under 20. It's Amole who scored the equalizer off an assist from Olise in the 47th minute of that encounter. Amole was a 45th minute substitute for Nigeria as he replaced Pangu in that encounter. I don't know where Nigeria starts saying this kind of name. So Olise also came in the 45th minute, replacing Amiao in that encounter, and both combined together for Nigeria's equalizer just 2 minutes into the second half. And what a way to be back in that encounter. It's 1-1 as it stands right now. Nigeria conceded in the third minute to Osama, not Biladin this time around. Osama of Egypt scored in the third minute, and Nigeria responded back just 2 minutes into the second half. So it's 1-1 as it stands in the third place of the under 20 AFCON. And straight into the middle.
Interestingly, Nigeria early go in the first half, and now they've considered early go in the second half. So parity restored, and let's just see who will take it home at the end of the day.
Okay, that is much to say who is going to take it home at the end of the day in that encounter between Nigeria and Egypt. And back to our focal match, which is the Gunners and Newcastle game. Still no goal to report in this encounter, and fast straight into the 43rd minute of that encounter. And Newcastle frustrating everything being thrown at them by the Gunners in this one. Arsenal looks to attack right here, and here's Lewis Kelly on the ball. He's always an interesting player to see whenever he attacks for the Gunners, though as a left back. Not even, he started more as a defensive midfielder, and he had to make he has to make his position, that is the left back, as a makeshift left back when Calafori was out injured, but he has made that position his own right now. Reminds me of when Bukayo Saka broke into the limelight also for the Gunners and made that position his own. We're straight into the 43rd minute. It has really been a disappointing game from my own angle.
I think this is Gabriel, if I'm not mistaken.
Gabriel's on the pitch.
No, Gabriel, the Arsenal legend.
Arsenal legend,
yeah. And on the field today. Excited. He would have forgotten those glory days. I think it was part of that squad that won the last Premier League.
Part of the
Invisible, Well, after the Invisible, they have been very visible and beatable.
Alright, so 4 minutes. Arsenal has a throw in there. Yeah, he's Lewis Kelly on the ball there. Takes one and tries to play in Martinelli. And Arsenal looks to chase that. Martinelli on the ball there. Drops it straight into the part of his teammate. That's Martinelli on the ball right now. And that looks like that was Leandro Trossard who lost possession there. Newcastle allowed that to go out. Is that a corner kick?
Yeah, goal kick.
We have it in the 44th minute.
Honestly, sometimes when you see Martinelli on the ball, you want to wonder, is he an academy player just learning how to play, or is he a professional? And some other time we'll just come in with the goodies.
It depends mostly on the kind of fullback he's facing off. I guess a static fullback who stays on with him, who is not running across with him, is always finding it. Look at him against Hakimi. Hakimi is always full of running to the front, so it was easy for both of them to find themselves, running against each other. When he's playing against a static defender who stays back to defend against him, it's always a big problem for him. He needs a defender who is always.
And one thing that has been his problem too has to be indecision. He doesn't decide fast, and as a footballer, if you don't decide fast, you will make too many errors, and it might be costly at the end of the day.
Wow, okay, let's see how many errors Arsenal will be making in this one. But it's Callum Wilson who has just gifted a free kick to the Gunners in the later stage of the second half. Straight into the 45th minute. It has really been, a tactical first half, but with no goal to report from this encounter. Arsenal looks to come out again in the Dynamos, and the referee also tired of this encounter and said, "No, I'm not going to add any more minutes to the already played 45 minutes in the first half." So it ended up 0-0 between Arsenal and Newcastle in the first half. Both sides couldn't break the deadlock in this encounter.
Yeah, both sides couldn't break the deadlock. And interestingly, it has been an exciting game. It's just that the two goalkeepers has been up to task. That's why we have not seen a goal yet in this one. And I think, yeah, the running is really running in. The guys are really, really prepared to fight to the end. And this is what we want to see in football. May the better side win at the end.
Yeah,
of
my
the
first
day.
question to you, for this halftime, analysis, as to me, what are the chances of this game ending, zero goalless between these two sides?
Yeah, the chances are very high because when you have two goalkeepers that are doing their job in form and also showing that form in this encounter, we've seen massive double saves, single saves from David Raya. We saw that a corner kick save from Nick Pope at a flash. It shows the reflex, it shows the reaction, it shows the form that the goalkeepers are in. And you just have to give it to their defense too. They are defending very well. And two of the teams in the Premier League that have conceded not so many goals at the end of the day. So yeah, goals might be hard to come by in this one.
There's still no good to report in that encounter, but looking at the first half, yes, Bukayo Saka looks like the brightest of the Gunners players in the first half. But the strikers, or let me say Leandro Trossard, who is playing out of position, he hasn't really been helping the matters for Bukayo Saka. And also Martinelli, like you said, he just going into traffic, running,
Yeah,
you just running without
direction.
direction. That is what we've seen for Martinelli. And on the Newcastle side, yes, Callum Wilson. Like you said, yes, probably match fitness is this issue in this game because he hasn't come into this encounter much like we would have expected Alexandra Ishak if he was one on the pitch.
Yeah, Callum Wilson has not really, really been in this game, and that's one thing that comes with not being match fit, match rusty, especially when you've not really been in on the action for the most part of the season. But maybe with his experience, he can find a way. Sometimes you have it like that. You come back, struggle in the first half, and the second half you can snap out of it and get something at the end of the day. But it's really, really possible for Callum Wilson to still be on the score sheet if he's not withdrawn.
Okay, looking at the Gunners bench in this encounter, we have Neto, the goalkeeper, Kerenti Ernie, who is also playing his last season with the Gunners. Then we also have Zichenko, Ricardo Califori, Jorginho will also be leaving the Gunners after the season. We also have Jack Henry, Francis, Kai Havertz back to the bench. Raheem Sterling will be returning back to Chelsea after the Gunners says he's not in their plan for next season. We also have the young enterprising Ethan Nwaneri on the bench. It looks like yes, they have quality players on the bench that they can call into this game and to change the face of the game.
Yeah, they can come in to change the face. It's just so quite unfortunate that Jorginho will be leaving Arsenal the way he came. No medal, nothing to celebrate at the end of the day. It's such a painful thing, but what can we do? It's Arsenal, they are known for always waiting for a better tomorrow that has not arrived for about 20 years now. But the second half can be very, very interesting, especially with an exciting talent like Ethan Nwaneri, who can be explosive any day he picks to play the game of football. But another addition that can come into the middle has to be Jorginho, the ball passing, opening the game up. But I don't think Ateta will want to touch that midfield because Newcastle can be dominant in the middle. And that brings me to the conversation of the Chelsea Newcastle game when Chelsea went one man down and still dominated that very, very aggressive midfield. So at the end of the day, maybe, just maybe, Arsenal can just bring up maybe Tanuaneri to do something at the end of the day.
Okay, yes, well, will it be in time? Ethan Waneri will be doing the magic for the Gunners. So will it be Rhyme Sterling will be coming off the bench? There's also Kai Havertz on the bench for the Gunners. Let's say we'll be doing the magic. And looking at the Newcastle's on the fence bench, sorry, we have John Rudy, goalkeeper, Martin Dubravka. In the fence, we have Jamal Laskelis, Emil Kraft. There's Joe Willock, the former Gunners winger. We also have Sean Longstaff, Lewis Milley, William Osula, and Sean Nev. And it looks like, yes, for Newcastle side, their best 11 or the best set of players they can present at once on the bench.
Yeah,
on the field, sorry.
on the field, yes. And what can they do? They are doing well on the field. I think there's no need to substitute anybody except for Callum Wilson, who has not grown into the game, and is understandable. So maybe you give him more time, and at the end of the day, he can come in really good.
Okay, yeah, so we have to talk about some of the transfers, some of the transfer updates. This guy, Austin, was confirmed to Real Madrid. I didn't see that coming.
You know, Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal were on the queue lining up, still speaking grammar. And that's one thing Real Madrid does. They know how to bully. They know how to bully other clubs. They know how to, other clubs will keep negotiating and they will just come with that name. They know that the player will run at every opportunity. Most players will to join Real Madrid, and look at how he has done. Austin has already been a Real Madrid player, and he will feature in the Club World Cup. So.
And looking at the Gunners in this running, I think a draw is enough to send Arsenal straight into the UEFA Champions League, because with a draw in this game, they'll be on 69 points. Should they play a draw out with Newcastle in this game? So 69 points. And looking at the chasing pack, we have Chelsea on 66 points, Aston Villa on 66 points, Manchester City on 65 points.
With a game in hand.
Manchester City has a game in hand. Yes, that's true.
So if Arsenal wins, if Man City wins,
they go straight to 68.
68. So Arsenal is not safe.
I think Arsenal will. They're destined to finish between second to fourth as it stands right now, because they have a better
goal difference
to Chelsea.
I think they have 34
plus 33.
Plus 33, yeah.
Chelsea has plus 20, Aston Villa has plus 9. So one thing is guaranteed, yes. Should they play out a draw? Should they finish out in a draw against Newcastle?
I think they're home and dry. And even Man City is a plus 24. Maybe they win plus 20. So they will either finish first to third or at worst fifth. Yeah, so I think that they are home and dry.
How about this Newcastle side are not playing that, and they're not coming out to play for a draw against the Gunners in this encounter. They've been everywhere looking for a victory in this encounter. And talking about the female FA Cup we saw today, Chelsea defeated Manchester United the women 3-0 in that encounter. Sandy Baltimore with 2 goals for the Blues in that encounter.
Yeah, expectedly. The Chelsea ladies have been dominant in the league this season. That has explained why they have gotten the domestic treble. But the enemy without, not within right now, has to be Barcelona women that has kept, they've been the team that has been dashing
for the past 2
the
seasons.
hopes of not just 2, I think 3, 4 seasons.
They met in the final.
Even 2021, they both met in the final, and Barcelona ladies did an awful beating.
And they're true to this final also. They'll be having a date with the Gunners ladies next weekend.
Yeah, and I think the Gunners ladies won't be able to stop this. I think it's Barcelona's Champions League again.
Okay, you can hear that. That was Yemite saying that there's no chance for the Arsenal's women who finished as a runner-up in the WSL, that is the Women's Super League in England. Chelsea also won that title, won themselves the Continental title, and today they also completed the local treble, by winning the FA Cup. What a season it has been for Sonia Bonpastor and his ladies. And she said she'll be going to the market aggressively.
You have to, because now you've conquered domestic. Now it's time to conquer Europe. So if they can conquer Europe, then it will be the icing on the cake.
But looking at Chelsea on that MIAs, it has always been the success also.
Mm.
Since but they are that means they've
But
won the
not
league.
in this way.
Yeah, they're unbeaten for Sonia
Yeah.
Bompastor. But you look at it, he has five back-to-back league titles won by what's it called
Yeah,
MIAs and
yeah, yeah.
CLs. The Sonia Bompastor came in, over 30 games played within the local terrain.
Yeah.
Went unbeaten in
Unbeaten,
everything.
yeah.
Are you going to say yes? This was a fantastic way to start our life at Chelsea. Looking at the way they lost out of the UEFA Women's Champions League, losing 4-1, 4-1 against Barcelona.
Yeah, you have to understand why she said she's going to go to the market aggressively, because it is a very risky thing to start like this. When you start like this is one of the highest of the heights domestically. So, from when you get to the height, you come down. So if you want to keep it high, you have to go higher. So that's why you understand why she's saying she wants to be aggressive. Because now, when you look at it, Lauren James does not have a solid replacement.
I think it's Sandy Baltimore. They finally found themselves a solid replacement. She was so terrific this season. She has been terrific.
Yeah, she has been, but whenever Lawrence is not around, the marquee fixtures you miss her. That has been evident. Not that the replacement has not done a good job, but we are talking about somebody that can equal replacement.
What she actually offers.
Yes, and when you look at the squad of Barcelona, that's what they have. The current Ballon d'Or Bomate is in the Barcelona England Barcelona setup for a reason. So I think that Chelsea, they need to support her. I hope all this structure and all these things is not affecting the ladies too, because it's not going to really
No,
make sense.
the structure is not affecting them. Funny enough, it's not affecting the ladies. You have to give it to Paul Green, that is the female's social director. He is not part of those who are looking for the up and coming talent. It's more about success for the female team.
And I don't know why they've chosen to make the male supporters suffer, because it's just like something they are doing intentionally. I don't understand why they are doing what they are doing, but
okay, back
at
to
the
our
end of the day,
match.
they need to come back, because Chelsea fans are really suffering. Really, really suffering. You can testify because you're a Chelsea fan.
I don't really know that. So I don't think I'm a Chelsea fan. Again, talking about the goalkeepers in this game between Arsenal and the Newcastle. Both have been, the shining light in this game. David Raya for Arsenal. We saw double saves twice from him in this encounter in the opening 20 minutes. Fantastic one from the Spaniards. And also Nick Pope, controlling and marshalling the Newcastle defense up to his best of his knowledge. And both have been pivotal for their team in not conceding in this first half.
Yeah, they've been really, really pivotal, especially with those saves they came up with. 1-2 enters, your team is 2-0 down, 1-0 down. That teams like Chelsea needs to see this and learn.
Mentality.
If Chelsea had a good goalkeeper, Chelsea won't be struggling to qualify for Champions League. Even with what we have said so far, that the team they've been waiting for up front, it's just like when you have something like I was listening to an interview for Peter Cech. Defense will win you competitions, and a big part of defending has to be the goalkeeper, because he has to be on top of his game. Check all the best teams doing very well. Donnarumma was responsible for PSG getting here. Look at that penalty save against Liverpool. They would have been out from the second round. When you look at it, Inter Milan, look at what Jan Sommer did against Barcelona. Look at those stops, those saves. The difference between the two teams is the performance of Jan Sommer that is on a higher level compared to that of, look at those attempts from Lamine Yamal that he went to, uproot from the corner of the post. And when you see those things, goalkeepers will win you tournaments. We saw Thibaut Courtois win that Champions League for Real Madrid against a Liverpool. 9 good saves in the Champions League final, and the team won 1-0. So out of 9, if 2 had entered, the team would have lost. So it is the role of a goalkeeper. You can't undermine it. You can't underestimate it. You can't negotiate it. You just have to do the needful. Get the best and do the rest.
Okay, looks like the Gunners will be sending in Calafori for the second 4 to 5 minutes in this encounter. We can see him warming up on our screens there. And that's what the Italian who we're bringing into this encounter. It was a big money buy for Arsenal, but fortunately injuries hasn't really helped. It hasn't really helped him at Arsenal. But let's see if next season he can keep himself, injuries safe, but it's always one of those things that happen in a game of football.
Yeah, it's always one of those things. And if there's somebody that Arsenal fans will want to come good for them, it will be Calafiori too, because I think over 40 million or thereabout
Yeah.
on him. So I think that they need to get more for him. We saw that goal he scored against Man City at the Etihad Stadium. That was a mind-blowing attempt from a left back. And if they can keep him fit, that means he has a lot in stock. He can be that makeshift centre back for Arsenal, left-sided. And I think if he was fit, he would have played ahead of Kiwa in that role for the Gunners. So one hell of a player for the Arsenal setup.
Okay, as we have the second half to come up in this encounter. Next 45 minutes, last 45 minutes of this encounter between Arsenal, the home side, at the Emirates Stadium. The Carpet, as they famously call their stadium, which used to be or is still a fortress ground for Arsenal. It's not always easy for teams to come to the Emirates and get some victory over this Arsenal side. Ricardo Calafiori will be thrown into this encounter and will be hoping to go through the next 45 minutes unscratched in this encounter. And it's William Saliba, surprisingly, who has been substituted.
Yeah, maybe a knock or pain or something. So Arsenal has two left-legged players playing the central.
Yeah, Kewell and what's it called, and Saliba.
Yeah.
Yes, I will be saying, waiting to see.
Kewell and Calafiori.
Calafiori, sorry. What are your expectations for the second half, both on the side of Arsenal and the Newcastle side?
Now, with this substitution, is advantage Newcastle. Because Saliba has been the better of their defenders this season. So I think it will be withdrawn due to injury. But Arsenal should be able to find their way around it, even without Saliba. And even if they lose this one, I don't think they will lose against Southampton.
Okay, as always, it's the start of second half, and Arsenal will be kick-starting the second half. They'll be playing from the right side of our screens, while Newcastle will be playing from the left side of our screens in this second half. Arsenal takes on the first initiative to attack there. By the end of the day, it ended as a throw-in till Newcastle will be having the chance to take it through. I just hope we're not going to see what we saw in this first half in the second half. I need an explosive game from these two sides in this second half of this encounter. And it's still 0-0 in that game, but we're straight into the 46th minute of that encounter.
Yeah, 46th minute it is, and trying to Newcastle, but Arsenal wins back possession. And straight, yeah, that's the confirmation. Saliba was withdrawn for Calafiori. We don't know why yet. I think the post-match conference, the coach will actually tell us the reason why he had to withdraw Saliba. Another guy attacking down the right finds Bukayo Saka straight to Odegaard again. And still Odegaard with the ball, trying to find time and space, finds Bukayo Saka. And Arsenal to return it back to Kiwa right there. I think Kiwa now will now play the right-hand side of the centre back at this point in time.
Okay, let's see how the Gunners approach on the second half of this encounter. Will it be Arsenal creating chances and getting a goal in the second half? Arsenal attacking against Newcastle. Bukayo Saka on the ball there. He has his teammates running around the line there. He has a chance for the Gunners. We'll start this second half with another corner kick.
Yeah, corner kick to the corner kick FC. Let's see what will happen at the end of the day. And one of the things in this running is that when they are tied on goals, on points, goals will be the next thing. Goals difference, if they are tied, goes forward will be the next thing. It's not like Syria that they've tweaked their rules that it will be a playoff. And looking at the Syria, it looks like it's going to be a battle to the final.
Yeah, it's going to be a battle to the final between Napoli and Inter Milan, who are the defending champions. You look at the two managers at the end of the affair there. Antonio Conte is a Syria winner, and also Simone Inzaghi is another Syria winner. But I think it depends on how Inter Milan right now, because to me, the way it is, looking at the momentum, I think I'll be favoring Napoli winning the league over Inter Milan, who has a date with the UEFA Champions League. So they have to be careful going into that, last game and pick which one is going to be more of importance.
But the Champions League is still 2 weeks away.
Yeah, it's still 2 weeks away.
They need match fitness. We saw the PSG putting all their starting 11 yesterday, their marquee players on the field. So it's going to, because the players cannot be match rusty before that one. So it's wise to balance things also. But a date with Lazio today
Yeah,
will really, really
a
be
tough game for
a
Inter
tough,
Milan
a tough
at
one.
the
Yeah,
Giuseppe Stadium.
yeah.
We also have
Giuseppe
Giuseppe
Meazza.
yes Stadium, and it looks like it's more easier for Napoli, though it might look easier on the paper. But Parma is another team that they are the biggest players
Yeah,
whenever they come to the
and
pitch.
even they are just 4 points off the relegation zone, so they want to at least get a win at home and know that they are safe already because they are not fully safe already yet. So a long is still going to be an interesting one to look out for.
Okay, also in the La Liga, we have Atletico Madrid will be hosting Real Betis in that game at 6 p.m. There's also Barcelona against Villarreal. That's Celta Vigo against Rayo Vallecano.
Kano, yeah.
We also have Las Palmas against Leganes, Mallorca against Getafe, Osasuna against Espanyol, Real Sociedad against Girona, Real Valladolid against Alaves, Sevilla against Real Madrid, and Valencia against Atletico Bilbao. It looks like this is the last game in the in the Spanish La Liga, and also in the Italian Serie A. Looks like yes, we'll be having the last games in the Italian Serie A tonight. Roma against Milan, Parma against Napoli.
Not the
Monza.
last games.
Okay,
It's the 37th game
37th.
in
Okay.
the Serie A.
Serie
And
A.
I think also the 37th game in the Spanish La Liga.
It's already
also.
at the same time. It's
Yeah.
6 p.m. for everybody.
Yeah. The
Okay, yes,
37th
37th.
game.
So they'll be having
Yeah,
one
imagine.
game at hand.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just surprised seeing everybody playing at the same time,
Yeah.
simultaneously.
They just set it, the teams that, especially Serie A, the teams that they are involved, like maybe they are chasing the same thing just to avoid any,
Advantage.
advantage.
Okay, as I'm back into this game, Arsenal looking for advantage against Newcastle as they attack against Newcastle in this one. And straight into the part of Trossard. Trossard looks in what there, finds his teammates, shots there. It's going to be another corner kick for Arsenal. That was a level Skelly there with beautiful turn in the box there. And inviting shots there from the 18 years old England
an 18
international.
years old playing the left back like this, I think this looks like a revelation.
Yeah, he's one of the revelation for this season. I was really surprised not seeing him nominated for the young player of the season.
Yeah.
And looking at the nomination for the young player of the season, Cole Palmer finds himself in that.
You have to check his numbers. If he didn't get up to what he got last season, he's a victim of his own standard. But that doesn't mean this standard he has this season is too small for his level. I think he should be in the running. And he has
chance for the Gunners. Will that be the goal for the Gunners? As the look asking all the questions, but this time around, Nick starts for Newcastle and would allow that into his back of his net. Another corner kick from Arsenal, another threat from the corner kicks again.
I think maybe we'll be having 25 corners today because the corner kickers FC has not stopped getting the corner kicks in.
Okay, that's how it goes. And this account we're straight into the 5th minute of second half and into the 50th minute, approaching the 54th minute of that game. Is Newcastle's throw-in right there. And then the game between Nigeria and Egypt under 20. That game is in the 80th minute. It's still 1-1, and it looks like both teams, if there's no late go in that one, they might be going straight into extra time in that top place game at the under 20 AFCON. Back to the Gunners goalkeeper, David Raya, who holds onto the ball, sends a long one, finds his Arsenal teammate, Bukayo Saka will hold onto the ball, as Livramento, his England teammate, to beat and drops one into the pockets. And the Arsenal captain gathers that for Arsenal, back to Bukayo Saka, who looks to attack. And here's Odegaard being forced out of the ball there. And it's advantage on Newcastle, who will restart play from a throw-in this one. We're straight into the 52nd minute of this game. Still no goal to report from the Gunners and the Magpies in this encounter. Arsenal has the better share of ball possession with 63%, while Newcastle are reduced to just 37% of ball possession. 6 total shots for the Gunners in this game and 10 total shots for Newcastle. And here we see the goalkeeper saves 5 for David Raya and just 2 for the Newcastle goalkeeper. It's really been a battle of second and third, who are both battling for supremacy in the 2024-2025 EPL season. Here's Arsenal looking to attack again. Here's the winger there, Gabriel Martinelli. Sorry.
Martinelli, yeah.
We tries to send one straight into the path of his teammate, but the referee allows place to continue since that was a fair challenge on the Arsenal's left back there. And yes, Newcastle looking to attack against the Gunners. With Ben White allowed that, he allows that. Oh, one back there by Newcastle, and referee allows place to continue. And yes, a Newcastle chance. And Tony Gordon with the ball there, lost possession in a tight position, and Arsenal will look to eat out on the counter. Martinelli with the ball there, finds his teammates and returns it back and finds Skelly. Skelly looks onto the wing and finds Trossard. Trossard with the ball for Arsenal. Beats Tonali. And yeah, it's going to be a throw-in as Tonali got the last touch on the ball for Newcastle. Throw into the Gunners there. Skelly with the ball. What will he make out of that? Returns it into the middle. Finds Thomas Partey. Partey playing as a lone man for Gunners in this one. Loma 6, sorry. Yeah, they look to attack. And Bukayo Saka called into action. Asked Livramento to beat. Livramento was once Chelsea Young Player of the Year, but now plies it straight with Newcastle. Lewis also won the Chelsea Young Player of the Year, and he's also now playing it straight with Newcastle. Things that's one thing with Newcastle getting the Chelsea Young Player of the Year.
Yeah. So it's Newcastle attacking with the ball right now. So far in this second half, Arsenal has been the better side. I think first 8-9 minutes of this encounter, and yeah, David Raya caught to action and was equal to the task. He grabs that one and finds Thomas Partey in the middle, and Thomas Partey with the ball right now. The Ghanaian international it looks like Ghana will be on the flight to US 2026 right there. And while it looks like the Super Eagles should kiss it and say it's a for the World Cup this season, this coming one. And it's Arsenal.
There's still everything to fight for in that encounter.
Yeah, there's still everything to fight for.
What a shot! And Arsenal finally broke the deadlock, and it's Declan Rice out of nowhere in the 55th minute. And the big money signing from West Ham finally breaks the deadlock for Arsenal. And it looks like it's out of nowhere, and Arsenal has the lead in this encounter.
Yeah, and Arsenal leading. And if not that Chelsea conceded that second goal, it would have been a big plus for Chelsea right now.
Well, it's still a big plus for them because if it ends this way, from the 3rd to 5th, finds themselves on 66 points. And that is Newcastle having 66 points as it stands right now. Chelsea sitting 4th with 66 points. Aston Villa sitting 5th with 66 points. Also, Manchester City finds themselves in 6th position with 65 points. And Nottingham Forest in the 7th position, finding themselves in the 65th position. Also, big battle, 1 point separating 3rd to 7th.
Yeah, 1 point it is. And if Arsenal can win here, they've stamped their Champions League spot. And maybe they can go on a riot against Newcastle, because Newcastle has failed to play this second half the same way they've come out in the first half. Maybe just 1 or 2 adjustments from Arteta has given birth to this, but this is a good start to the second half for the Gunners. Let's see if they can just keep it up and continue doing what they're doing.
Yes, I was left to say if Arsenal can keep it up and continue doing what they're currently doing. One goal into this game, Declan Rice with a beautiful, interesting goal there. Very beautiful, inviting shots from the England international right there for the Gunners. First goal in this encounter. Arsenal with a bragging right as it stands right now, looks to attack and get a second goal against Newcastle. That's caught Newcastle on, they were not expecting that. It caught them on guard. Talking about that goal scored by Arsenal.
And the goal difference now, I think Newcastle should be on 23 now.
Yeah, it looks like that. They should be on 23.
And Chelsea is on 20, if I'm not mistaken. So
yes, just on 20. Newcastle are on 22.
Yeah.
22. So just 2 goals different.
Yeah, if they can concede 3 more goals.
Alright, so I'm back in play there. We are straight into the 57th minute, 3 minutes away from 1 hour of football at the Emirates Stadium. Is Arsenal the home side? Finally, we got the first goal in that encounter. Trossard with the ball, yeah, chance for Arsenal to get on the second goal in this game. Sends a cross into the box, and still the Gunners in possession. But Nick Pope will gather this for Newcastle and sends this play long one, and Newcastle looks to attack. It's straight into the path of Anthony Gordon. Gordon going through the channel with the ball for Newcastle, beats his man and finds himself in the box there. And looks to send a cross, inviting cross there, but straight into the path of the Gunners. Arsenal will look to send out on defense into attack right now. Here's Martinelli, your best player there. Comes in well with the ball there, still holds onto the ball,
Not
beats his
my
man,
best.
and still with the ball for the Gunners. What will he make out of that? Drops it straight into the part of his teammates, and Kewell finds up his teammate here, back into Skelly parts. And Skelly drops it inward into midfield, finds them. Trossard, the Belgian international, still holds onto the ball, returns it back to the 18 years old Lewis Skelly. Skelly with a long one, tries to play in his Arsenal teammate. Newcastle regains possession, but Arsenal wins it back there and back into the middle. It's a midfield battle between these two sides as it stands right now. It's 58 minutes gone. Arsenal 1, Newcastle 0.
No, this is a testament to the fact that it looks like Newcastle looks so toothless, batless without Alexandra Isak. There are a whole lot. And
There's Bukayo Saka with that inviting shot there. But that took a weekend deflection of the Newcastle players in the box. And it looks like, yes, that player is currently down. Took that for his team.
yeah, I think he took that shot to the face, and that was a good hit from Bukayo Saka. Yeah, and the goalkeeper looks like he will save that one, but he didn't want to risk that one.
I guess that looks like Botman is that Botman shot?
I think it's both man.
Okay, looks like yes, Botman is good to continue this encounter. That wasn't a shot that, and you can see Newcastle looking like they'll be preparing substitution anytime soon.
Yeah, anytime soon they would like to react from the bench, and maybe they can come back into this one. He knows what this conceding a goal means for them. They will have
But they've also been wasteful.
yeah,
That's what we have to say. You know, you
wasteful.
saw those
But no, not
saves.
just fully wasteful. You have to give Raya a lot of credit. He did some saving, and those savings were not a 50-50. They were 30-70, and he still saved it. So, and they will be home to Everton, who can really sit back and frustrate anything
not
they
do that.
face. Yeah, Chelsea was just lucky for that mistake they made, and countered, and Jackson converted that one. Chelsea couldn't get another afterwards. So I think they will be at home and they will struggle, but at the end of the day, I think they will defeat Everton.
You'll be seeing two substitution being made by Newcastle. Osula is one of those substitution. That's what we'll bring it into the second half. The Nigerian born but plays for
England.
Denmark. Yeah, he
Is
plays for
it
Denmark.
Denmark?
Under 20. Yeah, Denmark
Oh,
under
it
20.
was the one that was making a local dish.
Yeah, for Isak
Nigerian
and
local, yeah. For,
Osula, William Osula.
yeah.
You'll be seeing what we'll bring it into this account. And like we said about the Newcastle bench, yes, it's not seem to really write about. Yes, and let's see if they can just also get one out of nowhere in this encounter. And Newcastle wins the ball back and looks to send the cross into the box, where Arsenal wins possession in the middle of the park, sends a long one back into the Newcastle half as they look on to challenge and take a counter as it looks for a second goal. Straight in the part of Bukayo Saka, who approaches on the Newcastle box, and Bukayo Saka was this time around straight into the hands of Nick Pope. We've seen 1 hour of football at the Emirates Stadium, and it's Arsenal who has finally broken the deadlock in this encounter. It's 1-0 the lead, and a goal scored by Declan Rice in the 55th minute of the encounter, which means that 10 minutes into the second half, the Gunners got one over Newcastle.
Yeah, Gunners are now leading at this point in time. 1-0. That goal scored by Declan Rice, the English international, who will be disappointed after a lot of effort he has put in for the Gunners this season. Yorubas will say, that we should not labor in vain, or maybe labor for another to reap right there. So he has labored a lot, but there won't be any medal to show for it. At the same way, Harry Kane labored a lot for Tottenham, but there was no winning medal to show for it. May our labor bring forth good fruit at the end of the day. Yeah, the labor of Newcastle right now has won them a corner kick, and Anthony Gordon will take this one. And he has
really had a quiet game in this account.
Yeah.
I've not really seen him, look explosive.
I think Ben White has done a good job.
Yeah, he has really done a good job on him.
Now we have 14 corner kicks already. Now I think maybe we'll get to 20.
As the other days in this game, Anthony Gordon with the ball there, easily defended there by the Gunners, and Newcastle still looking for another corner kick. Tonali with a cross into the box there, but easily deflected by the Gunners, and still Newcastle are back in possession, looking to attack against this new Arsenal side. And in the middle of the park, Newcastle looks to attack here and back into the part of Livramento, and finds his teammate here. Still Newcastle look the favorite cross, but chose to go safe into the middle of the park and finds his teammates. And you're still Newcastle. What would they make? They need a big response in the second half.
And talking about Victor Osimhen, he has gotten a goal today also.
Wow.
Gala leading 2-0. Though they've won the league already, I think today they will be taking the trophy. Because I think this will be their last game of the season.
It's a world seven for them, you know.
Yeah, it is.
But Jose Mourinho actually gave them a big fight. But we can't take out the influence of Victor Osimhen.
I think it was the difference.
And I think at first when he was joining Galatasaray, you know, everybody were like, yeah, how will he be able to
keep that standard?
To keep that standard, and he has come into this team, you know, over 35 goals and assists.
Now 36 goals.
Yes, goals. I mean,
just goals. 36.
Yes, a really fantastic one for him, and it's still showing that the standard is there. He's not a one-season wonder player, and even Napoli actually missing him being off.
If they had him right now with Lukaku,
Ego won't allow them. Ego won't let them, you know, to concede that yes, they actually missed him up front.
But yes. one thing that is really evident is that you can't just deny his qualities right there. You can't deny.
No, the quality is there. The quality is actually there for Victor Osimhen. I'll wait to see as Newcastle are making the two substitutions. We can see William Osula joining the rank on this field. Can he get one of those goals for Newcastle in this encounter? All the time we tell straight into the Newcastle Newcastle half. There's been a lot of touching around the head. The referee's saying no. I've seen enough of all this from you guys, and it's going to be a free kick right there for Arsenal against Newcastle.
Yeah, free kick to Arsenal right there. And let's see if Arsenal will be able to convert this one at the end of the day. He had to pull back Martinelli, and I think should be a yellow card also for the Newcastle player. Yeah, Kraft now on a yellow card for Newcastle. 65th minute of that encounter. It's still Arsenal 1, Newcastle 0.
Okay, so let's see how the Gunners take this corner kick. Will it be a chance for them to get on the second goal? They need that second goal to double their lead in this one and finally get a security goal against Newcastle. 65th minute, a free kick to Arsenal as the captain Odegaard, who is standing on this, and any moment from now he'll be sending an in-swinger into the box to see if his teammate can get onto the end of that and into the box, but that eluded the Gunners players in the box, and Newcastle will look to break out on the counter. What will they make out of this? Anthony Gordon comes inward with the ball, drops one forward there. He has a chance for Newcastle to chase one into the box there. Callum Wilson couldn't get onto that, and straight into the hands of David Raya, who is also chasing to get a clean sheet tonight.
Yeah, he's chasing to get a clean sheet. I think on the route for Golden Gloves this season. I don't know. I think he's one of the... I think
that's be Sels.
Yeah, Sels from Nottingham Forest. But he considered today.
Yeah.
He considered today. No clean sheet for him today. So let's see who will finally take home the Golden Gloves.
Okay, so we're straight into the 66 minutes, and it's looking like the Gunners are okay with this 1-0 lead in this encounter. It has really been a drama affair between these two sides almost from almost the start of this encounter. But let's see who is going to get more goals in this encounter. And as it stands right now, we're looking at to see who has the better clean sheets in the EPL. I'll be reading out that very soon. But as it stands, I think Sels should be winning it if I'm not mistaken. Looking at the number of clean sheets he has, but trying to see who currently leads when it comes to that clean sheets in the EPL. And yes, Newcastle back in possession against the Gunners. What would they make out of this? Still playing more of their defensive bomb with the ball there, and he actually sends that into the tiny air. But the Gunners wins possession of that and returns it back to the goalkeeper David Raya. And Raya holds onto the ball for Arsenal, cuts out of his own box and sends a long one back into the Newcastle's half. And it looks like Arsenal are currently playing with more, they are not under pressure anymore in this encounter.
Yeah, they are not under pressure. They know even if Newcastle equalize, they will still be second on the table right there, and they will be away at a relegated Southampton side already. So I think
Martin Sels has the highest number of clean sheets, 13. Comes for second is David Raya, who has 12. So if David Raya has plays this game, he will equal Martin Sels, who has 13 clean sheets. Really a big battle for the clean sheets there.
Yeah, it's going to be a long battle right there. And next week will be the icing on the cake Uh, and Martials will be going against Chelsea. And Arsenal will be going against Southampton.
Southampton. So
it
it's likely Arsenal take a clean sheet
David
in that
Raya
encounter.
might take it at the end of the day.
Okay, let's see how it goes in that one between David Raya and Southampton. And Southampton's goalkeeper is the former Arsenal goalkeeper, Aaron Ramsdale.
Yeah, Ramsdale, yeah. And
But there's nothing to battle for in that one. I think Southampton are relegated. They are confirmed or relegated already. So,
but look at what they did to Man City. You know, they packed the boss and made life horrible for Man City. And at the end of the day, they had to share the spoils, putting Man City in this delicate situation that they find themselves.
Okay, yes, and let's see who goes out with a victory in this one between Arsenal and Newcastle. Back in play there is Arsenal with a throw in. Lewis Skelly takes it. We're straight into the 69th minute of this encounter. Skelly drops it to Leonardo Trossard. Trossard returns it back to Skelly. Skelly will favor a cross, but chose to go back into the path of Trossard. And Trossard still holds onto the ball as of two Newcastle players on him currently. Returns it back and finds Califori. Califori drops it inward into the defense there, where he finds Kiwa. Kiwa returns it back to the goalkeeper, David Raya. Raya can forward with the ball for the Gunners. Takes a long one into the half of Newcastle. But Boatman will actually get its last touch on that ball for Newcastle. Newcastle playing it more like an airplane right now, playing in the air. And yeah, he's the Gunners captain, Martin Odegaard. He has a chance for Arsenal with this big second goal. Another shot there. Invited all shots there from Ben White, but this time around it's not going to beat Nick Pope, the goalkeeper, as that was just sails wide of the goalpost, inches off the goalpost there.
Ooh.
What a chance for the Gunners. It would have been a like-for-like second goal for the Gunners if that had gone into the back of the net.
Yeah, it would have been a like-for-like. You know, picking the left-hand corner of the post right there. But Nick Pope, lucky this time that he has not considered the second goal of this encounter. So, goal kick taken by Nick Pope into the center half, but Arsenal looks like they've dominated almost everything
In the second half.
this second half. It's just like a different Arsenal entirely.
I'm very sure they'll be sweating on what's it called, Alexander Isak, because they would need they will actually need Isak back in that for that game against Everton, because Everton themselves are also another team that can destroy anything.
Yeah, they are spoilers.
So they'll surely be needing Isak for that game.
Especially with that, the experienced manager, the former Arsenal, Manchester United manager, former West Ham manager, I've forgotten his name, right here for Everton. And since he came in, he has steadied the ship, and they've been defending very well. David Moyes right there. So let's see if maybe they will be able to get all 3 points.
Yes, Osula with the ball, but lost possession, and Gunners will look to break out from the defense there. Thomas Partey tries to play in a long one, but that's too much for Bukayo Saka to meet. And straight into the path of the Newcastle goalkeeper, who was almost fumbling that, but back in place. Newcastle will come forward to attack right now. Anthony Gordon on the ball. That's really been a silent day for him on in this encounter. And yes, Newcastle attacking against the Gunners. What would they make out of that? Tonali with the ball for Newcastle. Tonali holds onto it and sends it back into the path of his teammate in the heart of the midfield, who goes out wide and find another of Newcastle's player. Sula with the ball there. What will Sula make out of that? Returns it back into the paths of Botman. Botman will come forward with the ball for Newcastle. Drops it inward into the midfield. Finds them Tonali and back to Botman. Botman holds onto the ball. Even the Gunners are not in a rush to come out to attack against Newcastle.
Yeah, they don't want to come out. Who would want to come out when you are comfortable with your lead? They just need 3 points and confirm Champions League football. So they don't want to risk it. And who can blame them at the end of the day? They just have to defend maybe 20-25 minutes rather than go and wait for another 90 minutes. So one is easier than the other.
Okay, yes, let's go straight into the 72nd minute, and we are into the last 18 minutes of this encounter. And it's just one slim goal that differentiates these two sides in this encounter. It's still 1-0, Arsenal leading in that encounter between them and Newcastle. So there's still everything to fight for in that game. And also in that one between Nigeria and Egypt, it ended 1-1 after 90 minutes of duration. So we're going straight into extra time in that encounter. Okay, back to the back to the Arsenal and the Newcastle game. 73 minutes gone in this one. We have about barely 17 minutes to play. And I can see the Arsenal fans they really wants this game to be over and probably see them win this 1-0, which all but confirm them qualification into the UEFA Champions League.
Yeah, taking 3 points at home to Newcastle would be a good one, at least after losing back to back to back against Newcastle. This would be the right time to do this very, very, very painful blow on Newcastle. But yeah, it's still football. Anything can happen at the end of the day. So there's still, I think, over 20 minutes or thereabout of football to be played today.
Well, left to me, I would actually prefer Newcastle playing in the Europa League. They stand a better chance of winning the
Europa League
than the Champions League. And now that you can't even qualify from the Champions League to the Europa League. Probably qualifying for the Europa League would have been better for them.
I think it will be.
Yeah.
Even Nottingham Forest qualifying for the Europa League will be better for them.
Even Chelsea qualifying for the Europa League would be actually better.
But Chelsea have won the Champions League.
Okay. All right, so let's go play back into this account here. I'm just straight into the 74th minute of this one between Arsenal and Newcastle. Newcastle taking everything to the Gunners, but they've not been able to unlock on the Gunners' defense. They cross into the box there, easily deflected off, and we have another corner kick to report.
Yeah, another corner kick. And I think they're going to 20. I think that's their intention.
That's 15. This is the 15th corner kick in this encounter.
Yeah, and there's still over 15 minutes to go in this
What a game. What a game of football.
Yeah, what a game right here. So, it's corner kick to Newcastle at this point in time. 74th minute, approaching the 75th minute. Tonali, that guy who just came back from 10 months ban after that gambling issue he had. This season, it showed that Newcastle really missed him that season.
Okay, as it stands right now, Arsenal will be banking on this game to get a victory over Newcastle. Newcastle has defeated Arsenal twice this season, but this time around at Emirates Stadium, the Gunners are saying no, we are not going to lose this for the fourth time against this same Newcastle side. When Newcastle still looking for that equalizer, Harvey Baines on the ball, returns back into the pass of Sime. Yeah, might just be a chance for that equalizer. It was rooted off the goalpost there. What a chance for Newcastle. And you can see the frustration on the face of Eddie O, the Newcastle manager. He knows that Harvey Baines should be doing better there.
Yeah, he should be doing better from that opportunity, especially when you
find it almost free. It was almost free on good.
Oh, I think it was also
if a pass to Anthony Gordon would have been better.
It would be a lot better right there. But it's the run of
yes, we have another Arsenal substitution. And it's Martinelli will be replaced in this encounter for the returning Kai Havertz. No, it's not Martinelli. It's Bukayo Saka will be replaced for the returning Kai Havertz. You can see the Gunners are giving him a standing ovation for their player who they actually missed in the Champions League. Yes, there have been a lot of arguments in different courtesies that if only Kai Havertz was available against PSG, probably they will be playing in the UEFA Champions League final, not PSG.
When you talk about Arsenal players and Arsenal fans, if an Arsenal fans they are 5 and 6, just only if. The first leg we heard a lot of if Partey was there, but it was then the second half the if did not come.
And they considered 2 in the second leg.
They considered 2 instead of the one they considered in the first.
We also have Newcastle making our own substitution. Is Willock who has been thrown into this encounter, and Harvey Baines been withdrawn by the Newcastle manager. So let's see what they bring into this encounter. Kai Havertz is back from lengthy injury layoff. We just hope to see him get a goal. And also Callum Wilson has also been withdrawn. Looking at the Newcastle's substitution, Lewis Maley came in for the inefficient Murphy. We also have Emil Kraft coming in for Botman. William Osula replaced Wilson, and Joe Willock replaced Alvin Baines. For Arsenal is Ricardo Califori who replaced Saliba at the start of second half. Here's a chance for the Ghana second goal. Straight into the hands of the goalkeeper. You can see Kai Havertz going to the referee. That was a back pass to the goalkeeper, but the referee allows players to continue. We also saw Kai Havertz making his entrance, in the 76th minute, replacing Bukayo Saka in this encounter. It's still 1-0. Courtesy that goal scored by Declan Rice in the 55th minute. We're currently in the 78th minute of this encounter, approaching the last 10 minutes of this game, with Newcastle be giving us late dramas in this encounter.
Yeah, maybe they will give us a late drama or not, but one thing is so sure, we have enjoyed every bit of this game so far.
I did enjoy it too.
Oh, you didn't enjoy it,
I did
but
enjoy it.
I think we agree.
No,
We enjoyed the first
I'm
half.
more of someone who just love a lot of goals in a game of football. And
Yeah, but
surprisingly, it's early goal scored by Villarreal in that game against Barcelona in the fourth minute of that game. Villarreal has put one into the back of the net, but it doesn't really matter to Barcelona because they already won the league. And looking at Barcelona starting 11, is Ter Stegen who is back from injury, starting this game for Barcelona. In defense is Eric Garcia, Kubasi, Martinez, and Gerard Martin. In midfield is Pedri and Gavi on the pivots. While attacking wise, Lamine Yamal, Femi Lopez, and Rafinha, and a Loma striker, Robert Lewandowski. But it's what we've learned from Barcelona this season. You might lead them 2-0. Yeah, it's not game. It's not game over.
it's not game over. They know how to come back.
I think it was about twice or thrice against Real Madrid. 2-0
Yeah,
down, and they were coming back.
they came back.
And
Even
even against
in
Inter
the
Milan,
Super Copa,
twice against Inter Milan also.
yeah,
Two
they
goes
came
down,
back.
and they came back.
Came back, yeah. So I think that they are one team that they don't die.
Wow. Okay, there's no extra time at the under 20 AFCON. I think it's straight to penalty shootout, and Nigeria has just scored one from the penalty in during the penalty shootout in that one. Yes, Nigeria are currently leading from the penalty shootout. So let's see how they are able to to go through that penalties against. The Egyptians in the third place. I'm not always a fan of extra time in games like this.
Mm. Well,
It looks like it's full time already. Nigeria just defeated Egypt, and it's congratulations to Nigeria as they pick up the bronze medal, back-to-back bronze medal at the under 20.
yeah, and maybe the Egyptians they saw today, maybe
They will see them
them
again.
no more.
Okay, let's go straight into the 80th minute of that one between Arsenal and Newcastle. Still the Gunners leading 1-0 in that encounter. William Osula, we've not received much from him in this encounter. But let's see if on the Newcastle side will be getting one back in this one. Back into the middle of the park. Newcastle in possession of the ball. Returns it back to the goalkeeper. Nick Pope. Nick Pope finds the ball. Ball looks inward into the midfield. Finds Willock. Willock tries a skillful one over the Gunners defender there. And Arsenal regains possession. Sends it back to the goalkeeper. A long one from the Arsenal goalkeeper into the middle of the park. Arsenal in possession. Lost possession there. And Newcastle back in possession of the ball. Looks to attack against Arsenal there. And still Arsenal will look to attack. Really, there's really been a cagey affair between these two sides.
Yeah, really cagey. And what can we do? We just gotta enjoy the game of football like that. But this one has really brought in some, maybe a little bit of pressure on the fans to at least get to sit at the edge of their seat right there in that one. So maybe this one will be a good day in the office for Arsenal today after they've suffered a whole lot these past few days.
Alright, we're straight into the last 10 minutes of this encounter. And Newcastle needs a goal to respond against the Gunners to even try and get a 1-1 draw against Arsenal in this one. It's going to be a throw into Newcastle. Crafting with the ball there. And the Newcastle players are not in a rush. Mikel Arteta has just picked himself a yellow card in this encounter. He needs to be careful. A red card will see him miss that game against Southampton
Yeah,
on the final day.
on the final day, but it won't matter if they can take all 3 points right here.
Yes, that's going to be a throw in to Newcastle again against the Gunners. 81 minutes gone. No, it's Arsenal throwing this time around. And it's Lewis Kelly who takes that and finds out Calafori. Calafori on the ball there. Chose to go back and finds Keywall. Keywall will hold onto the ball. Looks inward into the middle of the park. Arsenal looks to attack or looks to soak the pressure or invites on the pressure from Newcastle, who are really playing more of a conservative football in this last 10 minutes of this encounter. Here is Arsenal throws out with a long one into the box. Arsenal regains possession. And it begs the question during that game between Newcastle and Chelsea. It wasn't like Newcastle they actually outplayed Chelsea. Probably that record to what's it called Jackson, sorry, actually turned over the event of things.
Yeah, I think that red card turned over. But when you look at it, the first half, Chelsea didn't really play well in the first half. After the red card, they played very a lot better. But they were unlucky, and you have to give it to Nick Pope with those brilliant saves. I think double saves in that one. And they got a deflected shot. Just went in. And I think Newcastle was just lucky to get that one 2-0 over the night.
Straight into the 12 minutes, 7 more minutes to go. You think there will still be dramas in this game?
Maybe. Because with the way Newcastle is coming at Arsenal, there might be drama in this game.
So let's see if they'll be inviting dramas in the dying embers of this encounter. Newcastle find themselves in the gunner's box, but still no goal to show off for everything in this encounter. Still Newcastle, what a chance for Newcastle here. With this great chance for that goal in the box there. Still Newcastle, Willock. But that's why was went wide off the goalpost. You can see the frustration on the face. Is disappointed in himself. How did that not go into the back of the net?
Yeah, he was a good chance. He created time and space for himself, and he couldn't convert. And at the end of the day, it ended the way he ballooned it over the bar. And that's the new sport director for us now. And his regime at Atletico Madrid brought a lot of success.
Brought a lot of success for them.
Yeah, so maybe.
Because it actually made them competitive, competing against the likes of Real Madrid and Barcelona, who duopolized the La Liga. But at the end of the day, they were able to turn it into a triopolized league.
Right there. And, well, maybe Atletico Madrid will actually miss him at the end of the day. But we don't know who they will bring in, or if they've brought someone in.
Yeah, we'll be seeing who they'll be replacing him with. I'll get straight into the 4th minute, 6 more minutes to play in the style. Arsenal with a 1-goal advantage in this one, and they'll be looking to wrap it up, qualifying for the UEFA Champions League, and they have a chance to battle as they're looking for their first UEFA Champions League crown. Not just UEFA Champions League alone, they've never won a crown outside England. We're straight into the 84th minute, approaching the 85th minute in this one. Newcastle also chasing an equalizer in this one.
No, but I think they've won UEFA Cup 1999.
That wasn't the UEFA Cup. They won the entire total.
It
wasn't on Europa Cup.
It was
Europa Cup. Europa Cup.
I think UEFA Cup.
UEFA Cup is different from intertotal competition.
UEFA Cup was the one that was switched to Europa
League. Yeah, Arsenal never won it.
Wow. Well, let's see if Arsenal didn't win it.
Okay, back in play, still Newcastle in possession of the ball on the box of Arsenal. And Arsenal regains that possession right there, but Newcastle retains it and regains it. Martinelli losing that possession there. And what would Newcastle make out of that is Bruno Guimaraes, who drops one into the box there. But Arsenal regains possession, looks to attack. Kai Havertz with the ball there. Went too early to the ground there. And referee says that was a fair challenge against the German international. Yes, Newcastle looking to penetrate through the Gunners' backline. And still Newcastle playing on the face of the Gunners' box, looking to get on that equalizer against Arsenal. Late dramas right there at the Emirates Stadium, but the goal is yet to come for Newcastle.
Yeah, the goal is yet to come, but Newcastle taking the game to Arsenal. And one thing David Raya will want to do today is to keep his clean sheet fresh and hot right there for this one. So far so good it is for Arsenal Football Club in this one. And yes, they are leading 1-0 in that one. Yes, you can call them a local champion, and they are even showing that they are proud of being local champions.
Alright, straight into the 87th minute of that encounter. Barely 3 more minutes to play in regulation time. It's still Arsenal 1, Newcastle 0. Arsenal with a throw-in, takes a long one into the middle of the park, and looks so gets up the second goal. It's not very much visible for the Gunners, and still time in this one for them to get a second goal, but they need to also be careful. But there's still enough time for Newcastle to equalize against Arsenal in this one. Newcastle are not going trophyless. They won the Carabao Cup this season, but Arsenal's season will be ending trophyless.
Yeah, it is confirmed. Robert Stamps served already, delivered already, not waiting to be delivered. That Arsenal will go back the way they came this season, empty-handed at the end of the day. So I think Arsenal is about to bring up another player right there. It looks like Leandro Trossard won't be able to continue. Kieran Tierney will be bidding his farewell to the Emirates Stadium. I think he will be leaving.
Yeah, he'll be leaving. He'll surely be leaving at the end of the season. Yes, that is Tierney will be thrown in at the 8th minute. So he has 2 minutes to play in regulation time for the Gunners in this encounter. And talking about the Nigerian goalkeeper in that game against Egypt, Abubakar, yes, from that poor performance against South Africa,
Yeah.
but he redeemed his image tonight against Egypt, saving 2 penalties in the penalty shootouts.
Oh, that's good. That's the way to go. Maybe it was just pressure.
Because he
Coming
came
up
in just within 3 minutes. He came into that
yeah,
game
I
and
think that
considered
would
that
be
goal.
pressure. That would be pressure. Coming up your first main game to be the semi-final of a major tournament. It's something that can affect you. So yeah, you can oblige him for that. After all, it's under 20. We just need players that can grow up the ranks and give us something to check. And I think one of the guys I can talk about in the under 20 has to be that left back.
Yeah, fantastic player, no doubt. So the under 20 left back. Well, let's see if he can move us forward to the Super Eagles. That is a big question.
Yeah,
yes, Newcastle looking for a chance there. Risky one there from Newcastle. But that won't be going into the back of the nets. Let's go straight into this encounter between Arsenal and Newcastle as we are approaching the dying embers of that game. We're straight into the 90th minute of that air counter, and it's still Arsenal leading 1-0 as they have to hang on for the last minutes of this encounter.
Yeah, they have to hang on, they have to hold on. They are fighting for every balls, and Newcastle are not really slowing down. They are mounting the pressure on Arsenal, attacking down the left with the boys Livramento. What can he do with the ball? He turns it back to the middle because a lot of bodies are back for Arsenal, and it looks like Arsenal is not ready to relinquish their lead anytime soon.
It's done and dusted. Looks like it's a particular moment already for me. I go straight into the final seconds of 90 minutes, but before that, Newcastle has a free kick, and it's Tonali who is standing on that. We can see Dambon who is approaching the Gunners box for this one. But this will be a chance for them to get it later. Equalizer against the Gunners, and Tonali with a long one into the Gunners box there, but easily get that for the Arsenal goalkeeper, who sends it straight into the paths of Kai Havertz there. Martinelli, who finds himself in the box. A chance for the Gunners' second goal. Beautifully blocked there by the Newcastle defender, but it's going to be another corner kick to Arsenal.
That's the I think 16th or 17th corner of this encounter or more, if I'm not mistaken.
9 plus 7.
Yeah, that's 16.
16.
Yeah, 16 corners.
We're straight into the 90th minute of what has really been an interesting tie between Arsenal and Newcastle. And Arsenal will be confirming their position as a second place team should they end up this victory. 71 points they currently sit while waiting for Manchester City, who has a game in hand, who has 65 points. A win for Manchester City will take Manchester City to 68 points. So it looks like all is confirmed for us now to finish at second position.
Yeah, all is confirmed with this win. All is confirmed.
It's a well-deserved position for them.
Yeah, well-deserved. Really worked hard for it. And with this victory, I think they will go to 70 points. 71. So, and with a superior goal difference, even Newcastle won't be able to unseat them for the Champions League. Second spot, not just Champions League.
That is done and dusted. 71 points. The only team that can come forward right now has to be Manchester City, who has 65 points in the game at hand. Should Manchester City win against Bournemouth, they go to 68 points.
And luckily for Manchester City, Bournemouth has nothing to play for anymore. Since the number 8,
Fulham has nothing to play for.
Yeah, since the number 8 is gone already, there's no qualification for number 8 because Crystal Palace won the FA Cup yesterday.
They've qualified. They've also made themselves, qualified for the Europa League. Really, I'm really happy for them.
Yeah.
Because, it's one big thing for Crystal Palace. They'll be qualifying for the Europa League via winning the the FA Cup, but finished 12th on the table in the EPL. That team like Manchester United. So that's what we'll be bringing to it. We've seen 16 corner kicks in this encounter.
But how would you feel? How would you feel if Man City didn't qualify for Champions League next season?
I won't feel anyway. I think I'll be indifferent, but I think Pep Guardiola won't want to play in the Europa League, so I think you want to go into this last 2 games to try everything possible and make sure that they are getting maximum points from that and getting themselves straight into the UEFA Champions League. They will rebuild next season. That is one thing that is certain about them.
They will rebuild, and they know how to splash out the cash.
I
know they will there.
Alright, straight into the third minute of additional time in this encounter between Arsenal and Newcastle. And it looks like yes, it's all destined for Arsenal. You know I'm laughing. I'm trying to see what really happened there. Where was the touch? Just a small touch there. We have the goalkeeper David Raya.
We know what they are doing.
There. And it looks like the Gunners are interested in time wasting right tactics right now. And the referee is telling him to either stand up or just remain rooted. But the time wasted will be reallocated in this encounter. And yet we see the captain of the Gunners here being replaced Odegaard, and it's Jorginho who is coming in probably for what may be his last time as an Arsenal player.
Yeah, at the Emirates Stadium, coming in for us now, and you can see.
But has he ever commanded, his starting shirt position at Arsenal? Because I remember him leaving Chelsea because of something like this.
No, he left Chelsea because Chelsea wasn't willing to lose him on a free, and he wasn't willing to extend his contract, so he had to leave. And one of those victims of the new ownership at Chelsea.
The likes of N'Golo Kante also.
Yeah, and even Kai Havertz also. So.
It's going to be a long one from Gunners right now as we are straight into the 4th minute of 5 minutes additional time. We still have 1 more minute to play in this encounter. David Raya with the ball from the defense there. We'll be sending this into the Newcastle box there, and he has picked himself a yellow card in this encounter for time wasting. Straight into the part of his Arsenal teammates. It's going to be a free kick to Newcastle as Bruno Guimaraes, which was actually brought down there. We are straight into the penultimate last minute of this encounter. And as it is right now, it looks like yes, it's done and dusted. Arsenal are going home with the 3 points.
Yeah, it looks like Arsenal will be taking this one, and it looks like it's a spectacular game. Already in the last minute of additional time in that one, and it looks like and Kai Havertz coming in after the injury layoff and getting a yellow card straight after coming into the action. Really not the best for the German international right there, but hey, it's still game on in that encounter. Arsenal leading 1-0, and it looks like they want to take this one and take it home.
What a chance for Newcastle there. And the Gunners goalkeeper fumbled that, but Arsenal has a chance right there from a counter and into the box there. Ooh. Couldn't get the needed touch, and that was on Gabriel Martinelli there. And straight into the part of his teammates. Still Arsenal in possession, looking for a last attack there. But Newcastle regains possession. They'll be attacking against the Gunners for one of their last attacks in this encounter. Taking straight into the parts and finds that Anthony Gordon. Gordon owes onto the ball as they approach the Gunners box and cuts inward with the ball there. Still dribbles through, but finds himself out of the box, and it looks that is a wasted challenge there. The referee allows plays to continue, says it's advantage Newcastle. And as Anthony Gordon was brought down there, still Newcastle in possession in the last minute of additional time. And yes, into the box there, still Newcastle in possession. What would they make out of this? Guimaraes with the ball there, trying to create himself in the box, but went down. But the referee says that was a soft challenge and it's not worthy to be a penalty call for Newcastle. Still Newcastle in possession. Nick Pope with the ball, comes forward with the ball, sends a long one into the Gunners box, and David Raya almost fumbling that. But Arsenal regains possession. A chance for them to get on the second goal in this encounter. What would they make out of this? They look to play it to safety and not attack against Newcastle. Newcastle regains possession. Takes it straight at the Gunners. I think we are seeing more than 5 minutes now. Courtesy that time wasted by the Arsenal goalkeeper.
Yeah, they will see. There will be more additional time to be added by the referee. And he crossed into the box.
Corner kick.
He directed up for a corner kick.
By Declan Rice.
And yes. An exciting game of football now is becoming because
dramatic
and
at
look
the end
at
of it.
Nick Pope too.
I think this should be the last kick.
Up.
This should be the last kick of
Yeah,
this
it
game.
should be. But these referees can be funny sometimes. So let's just see what will happen here at the end.
I go wait to see what happens at the end of this drama. We live in Newcastle getting a late equalizer against Arsenal from this corner kick. And straight into the box there. But the goalkeeper will gather that comfortably. And straight into the Arsenal goalkeepers, and we can see a lot going on in the box there. The Arsenal players need to be careful. not to get one of them sent off. Osula in the midst there.
Even if they get one of them sent off, it's it's done and dusted already.
It's done and dusted already. Confirmation of that is Champions League football for Arsenal come next season in the UEFA Champions League. Looks like there'll be a lot of yellow cards that will be dished out there by the central referee in this encounter.
Yeah, it seems he has already given, I think, Kiwo a yellow card, and I think another Arsenal player too will be yellow. I think Newcastle player will get a yellow card, or maybe not at the end of the day, but yeah, they will enjoy this victory, the Arsenal fans.
Yeah, true to the UEFA Champions League, you have a chance to fight for their honors again next season. Though they're one of the best side when it comes to the UEFA Champions League this season, but that doesn't do it. They have to try again.
You have to
next
get
season.
over
It's
the line.
still 0-0 in that game between Sevilla and Real Madrid. That game is already in the 25th minute. But like we said, it's all confirmed for Barcelona. They are the champions elect in the Spanish La Liga. Real Madrid finished second with 79 points. Atletico Madrid third with 73 points. And there's still all to fight between Atletico Bilbao and Villarreal. And also, Real Betis still in the mix. As it stands right now, Atletico Bilbao who sits fourth as a 68 points. So they still have a lot to fight for, looking for that fourth position spot. And that is the full-time whistle being blown right there at the Emirates Stadium. And it's Arsenal who ends their last game at the Emirates Stadium this season with a 1-0 victory over Newcastle. Your final take, Yemi?
Yeah, congrats to Arsenal. They've had a victory. Back to Champions League. Big win for them. The running continues.
Okay, and also congratulations to PSV. We are confirmed the champions of the Netherlands Divisie. And also that is about how much we can take on Premier Sports Fan Center till we come your way again during the it has to be the Europa League final, right?
Yes.
Between Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur. It's bye for now.